Welcome to the Sea of Hope podcast, where we dive into the importance of mental health and how it intersects with faith. At Sea of Hope, we believe that everyone deserves access to hope, healing, and support, especially those who are struggling with mental health challenges. This community is committed to providing Christian-based conversations that prioritize mental and emotional well-being. We believe that faith can be a powerful tool in the journey toward healing and hope, and we are dedicated to creating a safe and supportive community where individuals can find the guidance and encouragement they need. Join us as we explore the latest research, personal stories, and expert insights on mental health and faith. Our goal is to inspire and empower our listeners to take steps toward a healthier, more hopeful future. Welcome to the Sea of Hope podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sea of Hope podcast, where we discuss the value of merging mental health and faith. Thank you for joining me on our newest episode. I am your host, Dwight Herlong. My co-host, Lamont Hernandez, was not able to be with me today, but she left me in charge. Hopefully I can hold it down for you guys today. But as y'all know, we are a community that is passionate about seeing men and women thriving in their mental health and in their faith. Today, our guests are two friends of mine. They are a dynamic duo of husband and wife. I have Mr. Latrell and Miss Felicia. Welcome.
Thanks for having us. Welcome, everybody. I like that dynamic duo.
Well, I got to give y'all a proper introduction.
You're right.
What we're going to be talking about today. You know, we're going to be talking about the story of this amazing couple and how they have faced challenges while maintaining faith in their relationship with each other. Latrell and Felicia, could y'all please introduce yourself? Let people know a little bit about you.
I am 31 years old. I work in higher education. Work at a great institution in Alabama. It's kind of a big institution, so I'm just going to leave that there. Y'all can figure it out what institution I'm talking about. And I will let my wife introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Felicia Arrington. I'm 31 years old too as well. I teach kindergarten at a school in Tuscaloosa, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
She teaches at Abbott Elementary, everybody.
If you know what that means, then you can pretty much figure out what he's trying to say.
Y'all ain't got no sense.
None.
All right, so can you tell us, a little bit about how y'all met? How did this relationship kind of start off?
Oh,
I won't get too deep in your business, but
I'll let Felicia tell that story.
We both worked at JCPenney. I started working there first, and he came afterwards. He was playing football at UWA, so he would come sometimes during the holidays, and then he would disappear after that. And so one day I had been seeing him around. I was in the back with one of the girls that I work with, and I looked at her, I said, that's going to be my boyfriend right there. Never knew him, never spoke a word to him, never said anything to him at all. And she just kind of looked at me like, oh, okay. And so we were talking one day, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go get a steak with some shrimp. He was like, hey, I'll go with you. And then kind of after that, we just, every day he would work. He would come to my house every day. My mom would be like, that's your boyfriend here every day. I'm like, no, we just friends. And his mom was like, that's your girlfriend. You at her house every day. He's like, no, we just friends. And then after that, here we are now.
Mama knew what was going on. You can't lie.
We didn't know what was going on. Like, we just cool. The whole time, that's your boyfriend, that's your girlfriend. And I'm not even going to lie. I can raise even further because, to the same token was, Felicia saying, everybody saying, that's your boyfriend, his girlfriend. I had people telling me, I had one woman tell me I used to work in the hospital in Tuscaloosa, and I had a woman one night. It was random, just random. She was like, that's your wife. And I was like, what you mean? Like, with nobody in the room but me and her, she's like, that's your wife. Her name starts with a P or an F or something like that, but that's your wife. And it was crazy because I don't know if it was that night before or like some hours before, but I had just had a conversation with one of my coworkers. She was getting ready to move in with me, and how folks feel about shacking up. So they said they piece, and I was like, look, we just trying to save money here because living is expensive right now.
Right.
And we were dating, but shortly after that, I had another conversation with a friend, my coworker actually at the time, and she was like, Trey, you mean to tell me this girl know your social security number? I was like, I mean, yeah, it's the same except for the last 2 digits. But she was like, y'all already doing marriage stuff, so why not be married? And shortly after that, we got married.
That's a fun fact. We got the same social security number, except the last 2 digits are different.
Oh, that was faded. Y'all was supposed to be
My
together.
birthday is November the 10th. His November the 27th.
Born in the same hospital, born a week and a half apart.
Oh, that was already written on them tablets. Y'all had no choice but to be together.
Look, didn't know each other until 2012. We've been dating for 10 plus years, married 5. Didn't know each other. And honestly, now that we've gotten older, we talk, our circles actually collided way before we even knew it. Like, she know people that I went to high school with, and like real well. And it was one girl that I went to high school with. She's like, oh, you know, working. I'm like, yeah, I know so-and-so. One of my classmates that I graduated with, because one of my teachers actually wound up going back to her high school. I knew more about her high school than she thought I did.
And then my mama used to work with his aunt at the hospital.
That too, I didn't forget about that
close.
one. Yeah, and her brother used to be down in equipment all the time too.
And my sister used to work with his brother.
And her brother also played football with my cousin in college.
Yeah,
as well as her brother is also one of the charter members for the Qs at UWA.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, I can go to her brother Eddie and we can talk like we've known each other all these years because some of the same. He know RT. He went to UWA, played football there for a year. You know, did the frat thing, and like me and Eddie would have so many meaningful conversations. We'd just be sitting up talking about nothing. Just met each other like a year before. Yeah, a lot of. Did you say rework with Tony, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a lot of similarities in our lives. Like, so
I've learned something new.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, like my auntie who stays up here in Tuscaloosa, her and Felicia just get along so well. But I tell her all the time, like, the reason why you and my auntie can get along so well because the family dynamics that she had is the same dynamics that they had. So it's just like they get each other. All of my aunties, honestly, and that was a big thing for me when like me and Felicia was dating. I never had a companion that could just get to my family like that just by being. And when she first came to my house, she just tried to sit there and do nothing. And that ain't my family. Oh no, you gonna talk. And now I ain't talking about you. Can't get her to be quiet when she go to the house. I'm like, good Lord, man.
No,
like,
she's like them her folks now. She got a ring on her finger.
No, really, they like her more than me, I think, sometimes.
You know that's how they do.
I'm like, dang, bro, y'all just keep me like, oh, we got another niece or a daughter. Come on over here, Felicia.
That's true.
That's always good when the family like though. It makes it way easier.
It does.
Makes it way easier.
Hey, no, but you know something though, it is true, you know, and that's what I tell folks about this, about, you know, like relationships and marriages. I'm like, yeah, dog, y'all ain't separate no more. Y'all one. So it on my behalf.
That's what the book say though. They say two become one.
Hey, it's true. It's the truth. And honestly, same talking with me and her family. I'm right in there. Like Felicia, the same thing she be asking her sisters, the same thing she be asking me, why you being so loud? I'm like, I'm just doing what y'all do.
Yeah, when they get together, it's like Trail and my sisters. It's over with. It is over with.
Which two?
Which two? Victoria and Weena?
Yeah. I would describe our exciting, chaotic, manic lifestyle, but it's all good.
Well, I know that's really encouraging to hear, especially with a lot of the struggles that we hear going on today. With folks not wanting to stay married, folks not even considering marriage. You know, a lot of the challenges that are brought up. You know, compatibility not being there, folks getting married for the wrong reasons, life gets hectic. And sounds like y'all been dealing with that well, especially to be together 5 years. They say most people can't make it past the first year. So y'all gotta let us know, you know, what was y'all doing to make it past, 5 years?
I was gonna say it ain't been without its trials and tribulations. I mean, we was just talking earlier about something. But I will say is that communication. And you know, it's not only just communication too, because I mean we've been through some things. It's more than anything, bro. You got to be honest with yourself when it comes down to being in a marriage. I mean, yeah, you are becoming one, but you got to do your part as well as your partner got to do their part. And for me and Felicia tell you, I'm trying to be as cognizant as I can about how do I make you feel in this marriage? Right. What do I add to this marriage? It's honestly, a lot of people want to, I say this I tell the students when I meet with them, but a lot of people want to be millionaires. Everybody want to say they're a professional, they want to be business, but like you got to do the things that they do, just even in your personal life. I do something called a SWOT analysis. I'm always assessing myself. What's some of the strengths that I'm bringing to my marriage? What weakness am I attributing to? What are some of the opportunities that we got? What are some of the threats? I'm always asking myself, because I'm a goal-oriented person. And that's not saying that I'm perfect. I have made some mistakes. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. And it was on me. But even in that, you got to be able to be honest with yourself. Man up, woman up. Hey, I messed up. I almost said it another way, but you know what I mean? I messed up. And my brother actually taught me something, because there was a period in our marriage where we was going through some stuff. And he told me something. Hey, start today. Start today. Every day is a new day, so start today. You say you want to be better, start today. I bet. You made a hiccup yesterday. Cool beans. You woke up today. Start today. I always had that created me. Oh God, a fresh and clean heart. I know I quoted it wrong, but you know what I mean. Psalm 52. Psalm 52:10 every day.
And I think most people, it's easy to get heated about a situation and be like, you know what? This is how I feel, and thinking about how you feel because you're mad, but not think about how the other person feels, because I'm guilty of that. And I'll sit here in my head and be like, I don't care what you're saying about how you feel. What about how I feel? And then when we come together and have a conversation, and I get you make me feel like my feelings aren't valid. And I'm like, well, dang, I'm not meaning to do that. But I'm so heated at that point where it's just like, I ain't trying to hear nothing nobody's saying. I ain't trying to hear nothing you saying. All I'm thinking about is how I feel. But you have to have that conversation where I would rather him tell me about myself than go out there and somebody else do it. Because I know that's real. He's told me stuff about myself. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I'll go somewhere else and somebody call out the same thing. And I'm like, he just said that. And I'm glad he told me before they told me. Yeah, it hurt more coming from you, but I'd rather that than somebody else seeing something and them telling me to my face, like, I don't like the way you do, I don't like the way you said that. And then I'm sitting back like, and I'll come home and be like, Trell, why you never told me that I'm like that? You know what I'm saying? Because I will do him like, Trell, why you didn't tell me that? He's like, I told you. I'm like, yeah, no, not like they told it though.
And she do the same thing to me. And like, if somebody say something to me that Felicia said, I will be in the middle of the conversation like, dang, Felicia said that exact same thing to me. But I get to say this. Coach Hall was right. Iron do sharpen iron, man. Iron sharpen iron. But that's really what it is. It's like, and it takes some strength to get there, because nobody wants to be told something about themselves, because it is in human nature that's like, who are you to tell me? I know me better than me. Do you really? And sometimes, we don't. And that's that part that I also appreciate about my wife, is that I got that counsel or that outside perspective. I may see it one way, but she gonna see it some way differently than when she run it down. You had a conversation, she explained it to you, or you explain it to her, or who, and it's, you just have that moment of reflection and be like, dang, you know what? I could do this differently. I could not do this at all. And I could just completely change this up, because that is not the most, it may be good for you, but what's good for y'all.
Right.
Well, and that's, and we see that a lot now in I don't want to get on the social media, but it does have such an influence. And I really wish people would stop paying so much attention to social media, because in the world of research, we will call the data that a lot of people make most of their perceptions or their ideas or their opinions from, is such a small pot of data, but it's affecting such a large population. And nobody can never honestly see the realism outside of what social media is. But, when it comes down to the framework of how, what the expectation of relationship is, what's the woman role? What's the man role? Ain't no roles, man. It's to have a successful relationship. What do y'all got to do? You got to learn how to compromise. You got to learn how to agree, disagree, but you also got to learn how to humble yourself for the sake of somebody else and for the sake of y'all.
I always tell him, like, when he does something, I'm like, Trey, that's a trigger for me because it brings up memories from things that happened in childhood. And I automatically go back into like a shell, or I'm going into fight or flight mode. So we work on that a lot, me and Trey, because I tell him, like, Trey, that was a real bad trigger for me, or he'll say that was a trigger for me, and we have to, we still, even though we know why, we still explain why.
And that's something that's a whole nother discussion right there. Because I mean, I've counselors, my pastors, we have all had conversations about this. And that just comes from, hey, you got to understand that, again, you're human, there's certain things that you emotionally feel a type of way. But even then, being in that moment, self-assessing, hey, check yourself. This is not one of those moments. And it's anxiety, it's triggers, it can be a lot of things. But it's still, again, being in that moment, checking yourself. Because for me, myself, I had to tell myself, this is your wife. You're not at home. You're not in Shibuya, Mississippi. You're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, in your own crib. Y'all can work this out. You can act. You have an opinion that actually matters right now. Not saying that my opinion doesn't matter. My family. I don't want nobody thinking that. But it's just that dynamic of understanding. Okay, you're not a child. You're an adult. You're grown. You're married. You're not single. You can't do this or do that. You are a married man, and you have to act as such. You have to think as such. Going back to the Bible, when I was a child, I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things, and it's an ever-growing process. Ever-growing. It start today. Evermore.
Sometimes every day is life is start today. Start today. Because every day is not the same. It's always something different, and you got to learn how to just get in the flow of what's going to happen today. What's this? What's that? Nothing is going to be the same. And some people are just comfortable with things being the same. I'm comfortable being by myself. I'm good with it. I ain't got to argue with nobody. I ain't got to do that. That's not healthy. Just even me sitting in the house when Trell is out of town by myself, I'm sitting here like, this is not normal. Like, this for a couple of hours, yeah, but like for how long you be gone? Like 4 days? I'm like, this is not normal. There is no 5 days.
5 days on the most.
There's no human communication. It's just me sitting with 4 walls. And that itself gets depressing, because I would get depressed real quick, and I'll just tell Trey, it's just being here alone by myself all day, every day. I talk to God, of course. I talk to my dog, of course, but it's like human interaction is important. That's why we're all here.
And what do I tell you when that happens, though?
What
do I tell you? You're like, I'm just here. I'm just, what do I say?
Go leave out of the house.
Go for a walk. Pooch for a walk. Go to the gym. Get yourself moving. Get those endorphins pumping. Get that endocrine system working.
That's true.
In a positive direction, because you're being stagnant. You're basically like a car that's just sitting there without being cranked up. Go crank that motor up a little bit.
Not crank the motor up.
Crank that motor up a little bit. Let it run for a little minute. Just let you go outside. Let it run for a little minute.
Well, let me ask y'all this, because
Okay.
y'all have hinted on it. Well, not just hinted on it. Y'all have talked about it, but maybe y'all can explain a little bit more of the balance between I'm trying to balance my mental health as well as trying to help my partner balance that mental health. I could see that being a challenge, but it sounds like y'all work pretty well balancing that out. I just want y'all to break that down a little bit more.
For me, I'll say this, because 2020 I'm pretty open about this. I was diagnosed bipolar. And it was a change. It was a change for me, because it was in that moment. I kind of look at life different now ever since that moment. Like, when he said it, like, I thought, man, I may have ADHD. Nah, he said bipolar, and I bawled my eyes out. But it also explained a lot of things prior to that moment. But when it comes down to, okay, how do I balance it out? My wife, she have her days, we'll say we have our great days, we just feel like, man, and that's okay. I mean, life is mundane, and you have those moments where it's like, but for me, one thing I do, I give my wife her space. And she give me my space, and I tell her, and like we openly communicate that too as well. Like, hey, baby, I'm not feeling my best today. I'm not feeling bad, but I'm not necessarily feeling great. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm having a mad day, and we'll use that word mad day or great day because we just talked about it like 2 weeks ago. Especially for me because I travel so much. Like I've been traveling for a month straight, and you know, for me, I get so hyped up when I'm on the road, but like when I'm down, it's like, oh God, I'm tired. Let me just crash. Like Friday, I was happy to jitty because I'm done recruiting for a while. And I get the week off. But you know, also in that same token, early this week, I mean, I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I gotta get through this day. It's a Wednesday, it's hump day. I don't have to travel today, but I gotta go back to Birmingham and drive back here, go back to Birmingham and come back home again on Thursday. And it's just that communication piece that's important. You know, and you know, Felicia can tell you, I mean, she have her days too. You know, she work with kids. I mean, it is, and that's something. You know, and I actually be telling her some of the stuff you told me that time we talked on the phone during COVID about how you don't let kids get your emotions. Like, not tell you.
Oh, you tell me that all the time.
But it's just that communication piece because how does she know when I'm going through a fight with her? And then how do I expect her to, you know, Trey's feeling some type of way, you know, and not saying that, she need to get out of my face. No, she give me my space so I can process these feelings and process these emotions. I will talk to her about it. Another thing that we do, we decompress just about every day we come home. We don't, like, the TV may be on, but it's on lo-fi. We just talking.
Or either when he get here, it'll be on lo-fi and I'll just be sitting here.
And when I come in sometime, you know, I know when she need her moment, because she'll tell me, like, just give me a moment, just give her time, give her space, let her go through her TikToks, let her listen to her music, and she'll come back in about an hour. Just give her time. Because it is a lot. It's a lot. I mean, the thing about mental health is people think that mental health is just a standalone thing. Like your marriage doesn't affect your mental health. Like your occupation doesn't affect your mental health. Like your kids not supposed to affect your mental health, or the kids that you work with, or any individual that's in your life in an everyday situation is not supposed to affect your mental health. No, all of that affects your mental health. I could leave here feeling great today, knowing everything was awesome, everything is cool, and something happens as I walk outside that can quite probably change how I view that day. But that's not no means to take that with me everywhere I go and just put that on everybody else, you know, especially my wife, especially those who I say I love, you know, process that. If you need to talk about it. And some things, hey, is above your wife. That's why they have counselors.
That's true.
And pastors and other people to talk.
You brought up a good point. It's very easy when we live, you know, close with somebody, and they may, like you said, have a bad day, and it can be very easy to take that personal. So how do y'all kind of work through that? Not making sure that you don't take it personal, just recognizing, hey, this person's having a bad day.
More so with me, I can feel, I don't know if he can feel when I have a bad day, but I could be at work and I'll be like, it's not me. Latrell ain't feeling it today. And so when he come in, I'm like, good. Nah, I said, I figured. How you know? I can feel when you're not having a good day. Like,
you felt it in the spirit.
Yes, I can feel it when I'm talking. I'm like, I can feel when you're not feeling your best, because I start feeling it, and I'm like, I know I wasn't just feeling like this, so it has to be Trail. Do you get that feeling from me sometimes?
When I'm in your presence, I tell by when things are off. I know when they're off. Even when you say, ain't nothing wrong with me, I know something's wrong. Not all the time, but most of the time, yes. I may, and plus I know also by the way you talking, because if you try talking me, I'm like, yeah, something going on. So
well, I guess that can be a difficult challenge too, to know when I should let that person have their space versus this is.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Sea of Hope podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. At Sea of Hope, we believe that mental health is an essential part of our overall wellness, and we are committed to providing resources and support to those who are struggling. Through our faith-based approach, we seek to offer hope, healing, and restoration through relevant conversations. We want to remind you that you are not alone and that there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health issues, we encourage you to reach out to a certified mental health professional. Thank you for tuning in to the Sea of Hope podcast. We invite you to join us next time as we continue our journey of bringing hope to the mental health community. Until then, we pray that the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all.